Being the land of the free, the USA owes much to the brave leadership of its founding fathers. Well, Mexico became a free and independent nation thanks in large part to its unique kind of founding father. Stay thirsty, my friends, and let's spend a couple of minutes on a cool knowledge drop as we go inside the story of Mexican Independence Day on this episode of the Rocky Point Podcast.
Welcome, Puerto Peñasco lovers. This is the Rocky Point Podcast with award-winning host Thomas Baldrick.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Rocky Point's first and therefore best podcast. I'm your host, Thomas Baldrick. Thank you kindly for tuning in. Now, to make sure your time is well spent, we've collected some useful information, especially if you choose to enjoy life and the big party in Puerto Peñasco in mid-September. And as we get underway, let me first offer you a virtual high five. If you already knew, the 5th of May, Cinco de Mayo, was not, in fact, Mexico's Independence Day. That holiday, or drinking opportunity as many view Cinco de Mayo, commemorates the Mexican Army's underdog victory over the French in the 1862 Battle of Puebla. September 16th is the date cleared on the calendar as the Mexican Independence Day. It also explains the proximity of September 14th being Hispanic Heritage Day in the U.S. Let's quickly go back in time for the facts of Mexico's historic fight for freedom. The first known civilization of this rich terrain was called the Olmecs. They had first dibs until being taken over by the Mayans. Did you know the advanced Mayan society even built large pyramids in Mexico? They did. Next to take a perch at the top was the Toltec civilization. Then came the well-known Aztecs. By their time, they controlled an empire estimated at 5 million people. For 300 years, the Aztec civilization had basically the whole enchilada. But then the Spaniards sailed in, and they soon took control. They brought with them diseases like smallpox, measles, and others, and these wiped out the Aztec civilization. Spain then had its own 300-year run. They worked to spread Catholicism, which is still widespread in Mexico today. The Spaniards ruled the land they very creatively named New Spain. Okay, fine, whatever. Now, since my brain doesn't require the largest sombrero either, let me simplify things for you and give you 4 key events which really set the scene for Mexico's independence. Number 1, most people in New Spain were already in survival mode. Life was really hard under Spanish rule. Naturally, thoughts of a revolution were gaining momentum. As Bob Dylan sang in his song Like a Rolling Stone, when you ain't got nothing, you got nothing to lose. Number 2, now if you step back and look at it from a global perspective, you can also either assign credit or blame to one Napoleon Bonaparte. Surprise, huh? The French emperor's actions in Europe helped to spark a timely new opportunity for change in New Spain. Under clever but sneaky and false pretenses, Napoleon's classic message to Spain was like this: "Bonjour, friends, don't mind us, we're just passing through." You see, Napoleon told Spain he was sending in military troops to support French troops already in Portugal. It was a scam. He turned on Spain and cleverly invaded the country, which until then had been a French ally. Number 3, imagine Spain having its hands full of Napoleon and fighting the Iberian Peninsular War. This helped to make the time ripe in New Spain for a revolution and the people's fight for independence. The date was September 16, 1810. The reason I mentioned earlier that Mexico had a unique founding father is that, well, he was actually a Roman Catholic priest. Father Miguel Hidalgo y Castilla is revered and loved as the father of Mexico. He was born to be a revolutionary for his country. His parents were Spanish, born and raised in New Spain. He was well educated, passionate about helping those less fortunate, and unafraid to share his disgust for how the Spaniards ruled. He even belonged to a secret organization designed to overthrow the empire. Safe to say, Father Hidalgo was also unafraid to be independent. Now, get this. He didn't buy into the idea of priests taking a vow of celibacy. So he became a father in another way. He was dear old dad or papi to multiple children in his personal life. But the priest didn't waste time worrying about punishment from Jesus. He was focused on the quality of life punishment being inflicted on his people by the Spaniards. Number 4. Most people were poor, many of them struggling farmers. So when hope dried up thanks to a major drought in 1810, Father Hidalgo said, "No más." He went public with his unique battle cry. The fight for independence began with his legendary speech in the town of Dolores, forever known as Grito Dolores, or Cry for Dolores. Father Hidalgo challenged his flock with a message like this: "My children, a new dispensation comes to us today. Will you receive it? Will you free yourselves? Will you recover the land stolen 300 years ago from your forefathers by the hated Spaniards? We must act at once. Will you defend your religion and your rights as true patriots? Long live Our Lady of Guadalupe! Death to bad government! Death to the Gachupines!" The Gachupines was a slur taking a shot at the Spanish and French Peninsulares. We'll be back with more of the Rocky Point podcast right after this. Rocky Point lovers, our ship has finally come in, thanks to cruise and maritime voyages. Our friends from the UK have invested heavily in turning the long-time dream of a cruise destination into reality. Introducing the Treasures of the Sea of Cortez cruise. This one-of-a-kind experience sails round-trip from Puerto Peñasco, embarking on an 11-night discovery of some of Mexico's best-kept secrets. Enjoy breathtaking natural wonders, amazing wildlife, spectacular islands, and destinations such as Mazatlan, Cabo San Lucas, La Paz, and more. Sail in an intimate, luxurious setting on board the Astoria, a lovely ship with room for only 550 passengers. She features delicious onboard cuisine, activities, entertainment, and service second to none. There are only 6 voyages between December and February, so book now and turn Puerto Peñasco's dream cruise into yours by taking the Treasures of the Sea of Cortez cruise. As part of the Rocky Point podcast, you can save $200 by getting a free one-category upgraded cabin for 2. Just use the code RPP. That's a $200 value with the code RPP. Don't worry, you'll find all this information on our website at rockypointpodcast.com. Discover your slice of Rocky Point paradise at Sonoran Sun 510 East. This all newly redone one-bedroom condo has the beachiest theme in Puerto Peñasco, spectacular views of the Sea of Cortez, and spectacular online reviews from real guests like these. Exceptional, adorable condo with attentive service, amazing in every way. This place is unbelievable. You will not want to leave. Beautiful, clean, comfortable, and cozy. We will definitely be back. Sonoran Sun 510 East has 5-star ratings on Airbnb and VRBO. With perfect 10s on Booking.com, the site made the condo one of its top picks, calling it a booker's favorite. Want a place to relax, rejuvenate, rekindle romance? Just search Sonoran Sun 510 East to watch the YouTube videos. Book online or book direct and save by calling 602-688-3330. That's 602-688-3330. Create your own amazing guest experience. Stay and play at Sonoran Sun 510 East.
Now back to the Rocky Point podcast.
Like a bullfighter wearing all red, Father Hidalgo knowingly put himself in danger. Eventually, he rallied an army nearly 100,000 citizens strong. They had no military training, but they had plenty of anger, hunger, and total desperation. Plus, with a priest leading the charge, you could say they were on a mission from God. They had some victories, but Father Hidalgo suffered the ultimate defeat less than a year later. He was captured, excommunicated as a priest, and executed by a Spanish firing squad in 1811. Others bravely took his place in leadership, and more than a decade later, the relentless freedom fighters wore down their enemies. By 1821, Mexico had won its independence. Every year at 11 o'clock on the night of September 15th, the Mexican president rings the exact same bell for freedom that Father Hidalgo did in 1810. Now, if you go to Puerto Peñasco for Mexican Independence Day, The mayor is always at City Hall to ring a bell, wave the Mexican flag, and renew the call to grito. People will sing the national anthem, chant Viva Mexico, and much more. This event kicks off an all-night and all-day party with music, fun, food, drink, and of course, fireworks. As one Mexican friend said to me, Mexicans like fireworks on Lunes, Martes, or any day of the week. Yes, we're always going to have them on Independence Day. That'll wrap up this episode with our short and simple version of the Viva Mexico independence story. If you enjoy this podcast, please celebrate your freedom to support us by subscribing, downloading episodes, leaving a 5-star review, and connecting with us and sharing in social media. You'll be eligible to win prizes and know you help keep us going and growing. Visit RockyPointPodcast.com for more information. We're also open to your ideas and feedback. I'm Thomas Baldrick. Until next time, adios, friends. We appreciate you being part of the Rocky Point Podcast.